Right, morning. Welcome everybody. Just saying a beautiful overcast morning after some lovely rain. You know, help things grow, help things stay young. I don't know, get well. Good rain always seems to work better than watering. So not too sure if that's true for humans as well. But I see Ed is busy watering, so maybe we'll check in with him on that one just now and find out what wellness is all about. But Lee, I think over to you to kick off the morning first.
Well, thanks to Trevor Carty for sort of dropping that into the pot as to, and I think, Trevor, you're going to have to maybe bring up the message, something if you don't look after your wellness, you'll be looking after your illness, something along those lines. And I sort of had a rude awakening this weekend. And so I went to donate blood, which I have done many, many times before. And that was at the Colony, just down the road. And it's a little shopping center. And wandered down the stairs and started to feel dizzy. Sat down on the stairs, sort of to put my head between my knees, and I fainted. So, which is a pretty scary thing to do in a public place. So, and not something I've done since I was a kid. So I had to, so they were all thinking, had I eaten? And so the nurse from the clinic came down and they took me up, tested my blood pressure. So I still had a blood pressure that showed I was alive. And I had eaten, I'd done everything right. So what was it? What was it that caused me to, my body to decide it was not well and needed to shut down for a period of time? And so I realized, all the things that you do about eating healthily and exercising, and I do all those things pretty well, but I know what I don't do well. Even though I've been on holiday, I didn't actually use the holiday as well as I could have. I'm tired. I am tired. And I think it's a pandemic tiredness. I think it's, going in all directions at all times. And it's me, it's who I am. My tendency is to work rather than to rest. So of all the things, so this is my point, of all the things in terms of wellness that I probably neglect the most is rest. And that was very evident for me this weekend. And so your body speaks. And so what I had to do this weekend was rest, which is what I did. And I'm feeling 100% better this morning. I was a very pale version of myself this weekend, but definitely feeling better now. So that's my story about wellness and illness, very relevant right now. So thanks.
Great, thanks, Lee. Yeah. Sometimes these things just tell us, time to take the foot off the accelerator and take a step back. But I know Trevor Carty's always got his foot flat in the accelerator and, pushing hard and running around the suburbs and all sorts of things, getting younger every day. So Trevor, tell us about it. How do you get younger every day?
Yeah, morning, everybody. So you get eustress and you get distress. And then you just get this thing called stress. And I think the trick or the secret is to have some sort of balance indicator in your life. And there are a number of disciplines for that balance indicator. But it all does start with the body and the mind. So if the body is reasonably healthy, and you can tell what an unhealthy body looks like, because I had one of those 30 kilos ago. It was an unhealthy body. I battled to walk, I battled to breathe, I battled to sleep, I battled, and then it's about discipline or regret. It doesn't matter whether it's that brownie that you're going to eat after your wonderful 3-course meal, or that extra glass of wine you're going to have, or if you're just going to forget to put your socks on when you go for your walk. So at my age, 55 next birthday, there are a couple of priorities in my life, and they all go around my wellness. And the reason for that is just to stay away from that illness, because man, once those illnesses come, it's so much harder to fight them off and to try and get everything back in shape. So Ivan, how do I do it? Well, go to bed early, get up early. I think it's my first secret. Second secret, lots of exercise, lots and lots and lots. So I'm wearing my watch. It tells me when I'm doing exercise, when I'm not doing exercise. Even tells me when to breathe. And I'm sure it thinks I'm blonde, but that's okay. I'd like to know when to breathe. Tells me when to stand. Tells me I should have a glass of water. So you need a couple of things to just keep reminding you, because otherwise you can have a Lee incident, and it can happen to any of us at any time. It's scary stuff when it does happen, because then you realize, hey, what's my body trying to tell me? And Lee, you're right. Even when we take vacations, we don't often relax. So this Saturday, I said, we're doing nothing. And what that meant was that we slept in late. Then we took a drive out into the countryside. And if you guys have never been to the Four Ways Farmers Market, it's moved from Monte Casino. It's now at the back end of Limbroke Park. It's magnificent. And a change of environment or a change of pace can often lead to a change in grace. And it was just awesome. And so Saturday was amazing day. My better half just telling me it was a great day off doing what we don't normally do. And when you have breakfast at 11 and it consists of samosas and vegetable spring rolls, and then you toddle in and you say, well, you know what, a mojito would go fantastic with this. And you wander down to a big open space, and there's some guy, one-man band, and he's just playing great tunes, and you sit and you do nothing. You just physically do nothing. Your brain's not working. You're just appreciating the 33 degrees that it was, and it was hot. It was properly hot. And then we walked around and came home. Can't remember if I had a nap Saturday afternoon, but probably, because I love to nap. And there was Lions playing the Bulls. I didn't even watch that, so please don't tell me what the score was. I'll pick that up today on catch up. And I think it's what this day of rest was meant to be. It's a bit of a balance thing. 6 days work our guts out, and then have a day of rest, and whatever day of rest that is, just rest properly. So don't know if there are any secrets. I've sure got it wrong before, but going forward, I've got a bit of a routine and a balance act, and check this box and check that box, and know exactly what's not the right thing to do. So don't know, but make time for your wellness, or you will make time for your illness.
Great, thanks, Trevor. Yeah, I'm not too sure about the watch telling you what to do everything all the time, but each their own, I suppose. Good luck with that one, but I don't like my technology telling me what to do. I have enough of it as it is. Right, so Ed, yeah, I think you've been through some life-changing episodes as well. So yeah, maybe give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ivan, on the watch. As usual, I got out my dictionary and I looked up wellness, and the word came at the end of the definition for well, and it just had the word wellness with a square against it, which means it's a derivation, and it said no more. So I assumed it was an Americanism, and went online and looked at the Merriam-Webster dictionary, which is a big American dictionary. And it said wellness, the quality or state of being in good health, especially as an actively sought goal. And I thought, well, when I actively sought good health as a goal way back in 1994, wellness wasn't a thing. No one talked about wellness. So I thought, well, I'll do a bit of research. And I got on the internet and I found out that wellness first came to the fore when a guy called, well, a physician called Halbert L. Duncan gave a series of lectures in the 1950s. And then in 1961, these were brought together in a book called High Level Wellness. And it didn't receive much attention at the time. And it wasn't until much later, in about 1977, when three guys who are described as the fathers of wellness, created the National Wellness Institute and based it on his lectures. And then it wasn't really until sometime between the 1980s and 2000 that wellness became mainstream. And in about 2014, the recently formed Global Wellness Institute released a research report that found that the global wellness industry was a $3.4 trillion market. Trevor buying lots of watches. And it had a number of distinct sectors. Beauty and anti-aging, $1.3 trillion. Healthy eating, nutrition and weight loss, $574 billion. Fitness, mind and body, $446 billion. And wellness tourism, $494 billion. Who ever thought that wellness tourism would be a thing? And then I did a quick bit of search on Forbes magazine, the business magazine. And I discovered that people are spending on a holistic approach to health and wellness that includes nearly every aspect of life, even sleep. And consumers are increasingly participating in fitness classes, using products, devices, and apps that aid sleep and are taking health supplements. So I thought, that's interesting. So we were sold a lifestyle that took wellness away, and now we're being sold it back again. So what a wonderful thing. And I think, let's just be healthy. We don't need a watch to tell us when to breathe. It comes naturally. And I think, if you look at your cat, your dog, your whatever, they don't wear a Garmin or a sort of watch or a Fitbit or whatever. They just do what they naturally do. And that's what we used to do. We used to be healthy. And it's only because people sold us stuff, we become unhealthy. And now they sell us stuff to make us healthy. Why not just do what you're supposed to do? Eat your fruit and veg, exercise a bit, and don't drink too much.
Thanks, Ed. You sold me on that. So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? The mechanisms and machinery of extracting the dollar from your wallet have gone round and round in circles, and keep on extracting more and more dollars from our wallets. But one way or another, we're always being sold something by somebody. So Renee, what are you selling this morning?
Right, well, you people are also healthy and you run and you exercise and you've got to watch the tills you eat, drink water, and you have wonderful life balance. Well, I'm a smoker, so please don't kick me out of the forum. I've been smoking since I was 18, and the only time I gave up was when I was pregnant. And no, but late to give up then, but anyway. And then promptly started again. But I thought about this and I thought, like it was saying it's such a massive industry, this wellness. And if you say wellness to somebody, I guarantee, besides looking in the dictionary, the words that come out is a sense of balance between life, work, and play. You're well if you achieve those sort of things. But I think it's very difficult to achieve that if you're stuck I'm a believer in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I know that it's sort of outdated, and research has shown that it's not necessarily correct, not necessarily the way things work. But I've always found that if I read something that makes sense to me, it sort of feels comfortable with me, then I'll take it on. And I believe that we have to combine all of Maslow's hierarchy of needs in the correct order, and only then do we actually achieve true wellness. The reason I don't give up smoking is because every time I try, I put on 20 kilos. And it doesn't matter what I do, I put on 20 kilos. And the alternative to smoking is to take a thyroid stimulator. And I don't want to be 20 kilograms heavier. So I've sort of reached a balance where I will smoke very few cigarettes a day. And as opposed to 30 or 40 that I was doing. And my self-image is far more important to me than actually giving up smoking. And I think it really is that balance. You can't have this higher ideal about your health and wellness and buy a fancy watch if you're actually battling to put food on the table. And I think we have to combine those physiological, the safety, the love, and the esteem before we can actually say we are truly, truly well. I think it is about balance, but it's about combining and acknowledging what in your life you have to accept in the meantime. At some later stage, you may address it, but in the meantime, what you have to accept in order to just be happy and be functional. Thank you, Ivan.
Great, thanks, Rena. Yeah, as you were talking, you reminded me of my grandfather. He lived to the ripe old age of 96. The only reason he gave up smoking was because he didn't have enough teeth left to hold his pipe any longer. So yeah, and he also had his couple of fingers of whiskey every night, and walked and rode his bicycle right up until he was well into his 90s. So yeah, he'd certainly got whatever worked for him right. So Cecile, what works for you?
Yeah, yes. I try to live a very healthy life. I exercise daily, and apart from my, let's say, karate that I do for 4 times a week, every night before I go to bed, I do 100 and something sit-ups and lots of push-ups, because it's just, I don't know, just all over. That's part of discipline. That to me is a little piece of discipline. That when no one sees it, you're not doing it with anyone, whatever. I try and we eat healthy. Sorry, Ed, I don't drink at all. Just because I don't like the taste of alcohol. So I don't drink alcohol at all. I stay away from people that smoke because I don't want secondary smoke around me. Just on that note, Verne, if maybe this can detract you from trying to smoke or to carry on smoking. My husband's mom smoked when she was a young girl, and she's now 84, and she's generally healthy, but her lungs are stuffed from smoking at that time. So she had to have, last week she had to have a hernia op. They had to keep her in the hospital for a week to get, before the op, to just get her lungs whatever, I don't know what they did. And after the op, she ended up after 2 days in ICU because of, I don't know, her lungs are stuffed. And she's hasn't smoked for years and years and years. And contrary to belief, because I am a radiographer, and I also always believe that if you do stop smoking, it reverses all the damage, or most of the damage that was done when you did smoke. So maybe you should try some once again, because you're much too nice to end up with all these lung problems when you're older. On the point of donating blood, I also donate blood at the colony. And a week ago, I've now started donating plasma because one can go every 2 weeks. So a week ago, I went to the colony, and that lady with the very pregnant lady Lee, she stuck the needle into my arm and started the process. And then as soon as she started it, she said, oh, I stuck the needle through. So, but let's see what happens. Maybe the cycle won't return, whatever. I said, no, carry on, it's fine. Well, I said, I don't normally donate on my left arm, so you decide what you want to do. She carried on doing it. I went through the 40-minute cycle where it takes your plasma, puts the other stuff back into your body. It didn't feel any different, but she said to me, oh, it's a little bit blue. 2 days later, my whole right arm is purple. From my biceps all the way down to my wrist. And it's now a week and a bit later, and it's still like that. I put that spider plasters on, and I tried everything to massage it, to do whatever, but that's just a small little incident that you think, oh, okay, I'm fine, I'm going to be okay after just that little incident. But yeah, now you walk around and you can't use your arm properly. Just a small incident like that can retake your whole wellness routine away completely, because you start using your left arm because your right arm is not working so lekker. But yeah, so I try, and I'm not sure why, but at the moment I don't feel tired, but I'm probably, I don't know, stressed because of the move, or I don't know what. I sleep like an absolute log. I would get into bed and pick up even my phone to set the alarm for the next day, and then wake up an hour later and see, oh, I fell asleep with my phone in my hand. But I sleep like an absolute log, which is a good thing. So I try and do all the things to do to stay healthy and well, and try and not hold grudges, because I think holding grudges is the other thing that makes you. Other person doesn't even know you hold grudges, but you just make yourself sick. They don't know at all you are across with them. So why do that? Because if you're not addressing it, it's a wasted negative energy. But yeah, those are my thoughts about wellness.
Great, thanks, Cecile. Yeah, sorry about your arm. Obviously, that she did go through your vein, and it all bled into your arm cavity, which is not a nice thing to have. So hopefully that comes right soon. Right, Jasper, let's get across to you, the vitamin man.
Hi there. Yes, I am and have been for probably 30, 40 years, been a good user of supplements. And I would say to a large degree, I can look back at how it helped me through some very strenuous programs and stages in my life. But I'm certainly not as fit as Cecile. I almost want to rather Dito Verne accept the smoking. That I want to just take care of my wellness in terms of almost the psyche at this stage. And I'm happy I have a friend that's now looking after his health, Trevor, with all his running in the morning and stuff like that. I'm not into that space at all right now. And I just find myself at the time when I'm actually neglecting the physical exercise for a period. But I found that, typically with this wheel of life exercise that we all know how that works. Doesn't matter at what stage you do that wheel of life, it's very difficult to pay equal attention to all the spokes of your wheel. So right now where I am, I have to put in a lot of time into some learning new stuff. And so that almost keep me on my seat for most of the day. And I try to get in the odd walk when I can, get to the odd gym when I can. But I think ultimately it's okay because we are in control of our diaries. And if what you put in your diary is what you now want to put in there, and it's not by force or people imposing on you, then you feel okay. Then you feel relaxed about it, and you feel at peace. And it doesn't matter. And I think we all work long hours. We all have long days because we pack it into the max. And I don't know if it's also just old age that you almost have a sense of urgency of all the things that still needs to be done before we say goodbye here. But yeah, I think in terms of wellness, I have a good sense of wellness, but I also know that when I ease up on some of my other activities, I certainly need to get back into the gym. I know Ivan tried to teach me how to stay fit with rowing. He's an excellent rower. And I take a lot of learning from all of you. But for now, I think I'm rather just focusing on stay de-stressed and just get on with the life that is in front of me.
Great, thanks, Jasper. Yeah, suffered for six months during lockdown, not being able to row. Certainly something I've developed quite an enjoyment for up until when lockdown started. I'd been rowing pretty consistently for about 4.5 years, almost 5 years. Done over 4.5 million meters on the rowing machine in that period. Managed to now get back onto it in the last week or two, and done a couple of nice sessions. Did a 12K the other day, and yeah, so starting to still feel good. Did a lot of walking though during lockdown, something that I haven't done a lot of for a long time. So Trevor has bumped into me occasionally on a Sunday morning walking around the suburbs, but yeah, I've averaged, Trevor, my watch has told me, I've averaged 165,000 steps a month since the start of lockdown. So there you go. I think with my best month were over 220,000 steps. So yeah, haven't convinced my body. Yeah, there you go. Haven't convinced my body quite yet to run. I tried a little bit yesterday, but it says, the last time you did any running was 30 years ago. Why do you want to start running now? So it's not convinced that running is quite where it should be at the moment. But yeah, we keep on trying. Must admit, I enjoy my glass of wine and the occasional glass of whiskey. So yeah, we have those weaknesses, but I do agree with Renee. It's about balance. It's about enjoyment. I think if you start depriving yourself of things based on inputs from outside, you just wind up getting miserable. So no point in that at all, because as the seal says, regrets, those sort of things, anger, all, in my opinion, a waste of good emotion. I rather use your emotions in a positive frame, and don't waste them on the negative things. So I think that all helps, and I think one just has to stay positive, stay proactive, and do what you enjoy, and stay engaged. I think is key. The more I've looked at it over the years and the experiences we've had with aging family members and so on. Retirement for me is completely outdated concept. Don't retire. Retire indicates finality. It indicates the end. I think it's just a change. Change and adapt into what you're going to do. Stay engaged. Stay involved. Stay curious. Stay hungry. And I think those are the things that keep you moving forward. So those are my thoughts on it. So Trevor and Nell, over to you.
Right. So yesterday I wrote on the chamber site that the retireder I get, the less time I have. And that seems to be a contrarian view to most people who turn around and say, man, when I get to retirement age, I'm going to have a ton of free time. I find I have less and less free time because of all the distractions. And by using this word distractions, I find that I'm distracted on a daily basis by things that I want to do, by things that other people want me to do for them, by a family who have critical needs. And I think that this COVID year, 2020, has seen us being pulled in many different directions. And this thing here has been the cause of many, many people's stress at the moment. So I agree with some of the pointers that have come out there. Verna, it's the last time I'm talking to you. You never ever told me you were a smoker, and that is my mental block. I've never touched that blooming thing, but all I can say is that I agree with you. The trick is to be happy. Those people that have great lives, regardless of what assets they have, are the people who can actually justify true happiness in their lives. And that is built around balance. I think that's the greatest advice that anyone can get. Just find some balance for you. And obviously, Lee knows what happens when there's no balance. So, Lee, you got to do what I do, walk around with a pillow under your arm. And that gives you a clue as to, we're starting to get older here. I'm not talking about you, but you find Trevor Carty turned around and said he likes to have a nap. You need that pillow every now and then to actually lie down a little bit more and just have a break during the day. And I think people are absolutely overstressed. And I'm watching this in terms of all of this virtual networking taking place. I think it is the greatest opportunity for business people at the moment. But I saw one guy who's really big into networking turn around and say, man, I had 650 high quality people this week. Well, if you're going to stress out trying to actually touch base with 650 people to make certain that you nail down all the opportunities, because all of these people want opportunities, you're going to stress yourself out far quicker than we ever did. So we've got to be wary of technology. And I know the only reason that Trevor Cartier's got his watch is because some company gave it to him free and said, if you don't go and exercise, you will have to pay for this blooming thing. And I know he doesn't like to pay for things, so he goes out there and walks on a daily basis, just as we do, Trevor. The only reason that I go out to walk on a Saturday and a Sunday is because my wife got one of these watches from a company, and she turned around and said, no, she doesn't want to pay. So we will go and walk every Saturday morning and every Sunday morning to get the points. So you don't pull the wool over my eyes as much as you've got that little halo over your head. Holier than thou, and with a vested interest in the wellness industry. You know what, I can read everyone, and there's Cecile. Cecile and I both were brought up in this industry because we headed up various divisions within operations. And I think my cynical view to the wellness industry derives from having been involved in it and having had a look at how people with vested interests actually go out there to create a massive movement for their particular products. And the drive for making money tends to overcome this little logic over here. So I can just imagine a couple of people who turn around and try and assess what I'm saying, because I'm a show me the money kind of guy. I love putting business projects together, but I think it's about how do you add positive value to the rest of the world as opposed to taking away from the rest of the world. And when you're creating products and services, are you really 100% certain that you're adding value to the rest of the world? So that's what I want to add. So did I get to the point of so many more distractions as I get older and older, and those distractions tend to stress, and I know stress has affected me because I have less and less time to get out the things that I want to do and focus on the things that I want to do. But I also know that I've got to relax more and more, because relaxing is what helps you achieve what you want to achieve in the next day. You've got to relax more, and so my one little tip for Lee is that's why we think scale. How can we work less and reach bigger markets out in the world times a million, and give them the opportunity to do what we're doing here? So I'll drop that in.
Thanks, Trevor. Yeah, I know how you get less stress. You just pass it on to me. So it's yeah.
Which, when you don't get this stuff done, stresses me out more, and I have to go and lie down after a discussion with you. And so it's a vicious cycle on the go. Thank you, Ivan.
And it's just that I've learned in the last 20 years to give it back. So, you know, I always used to just take it, and I've decided no, now it's time to actually to return the favor, you know, be generous and give some of it back. So
you're a very good batsman now. You knock it back every blooming 30 seconds. It's not good enough.
Great stuff. All right, thanks, folks. So yeah, interesting discussion. I'm sure we could probably go into all sorts of other different directions on this one. And it is, for me, it's a fascinating topic. I love the idea. I disagree totally with Trevor and Cecile. I don't think they were ever involved in the wellness industry. I think they were involved in the sickness industry. And I think Big Pharma is very focused around how can they keep us sick so they can sell us more pills and more diagnostics and all those sorts of things. So I don't think that's part of the wellness industry in any form or manner. But anyway, that's just my opinion. So Lee, I think back over to you to wrap up. And yeah, any thoughts for the morrow?
Well, as I said on Friday, I think it does lead into what Trevor was asking that we discuss, and that is, you know, who comes first, me or others? And the reason why I think it leads into that is because, you know, who's responsible for your wellness, and how does your wellness affect what you do in the world? So what comes first? Is it the focus on you? Are you the person that needs to come first in order for you to do everything else? Or is that selfish? Is that self-centered? Is that egotistical? And if it is, so what? So let's talk about who comes first, me or others, tomorrow. And yeah, look forward to that discussion.
Great, thanks, folks. So tomorrow morning at 8:00, we'll be on Radio WIIFM, and we'll pick up the discussion from them and see what's in it for me. So, all right, have a fantastic day further. Stay well, stay healthy, and we'll see you on tomorrow. Go well.